If you fell down yesterday, stand up today. What if I fell down yesterday, the week before, the month before that? Quote of the day. Let's get right to Bitcoin. Weekly charts, right? We talked about this last week, looking at potential the rallies, right? The rally that we've seen the last two bear markets and how they kind of met the underside of the weekly Gaussian channel before kind of cooling off. So where are we now, right? Looking at that today, we're looking at right near 25K. As we get up there, 25.4 to be exact. As of today, this is moving down though week over week. So depending on when we do it, that may be what we do, right? And we looked at that and looking at the levels, it just makes sense, at least initially, for us to, have a little bit of hesitation there. We also have the 200-week EMA at the same time. Now the 50-week EMA is also kind of right at 25K. So that's kind of three lines in the sand. We'll see what we end up doing. But so far, so good out of this move up for Bitcoin. So let's look at some indicators and see if we can draw something else, some better data. So let's zoom out and let's see where we are. Well, let's start off with the RSI. Downtrend, right? Lower highs, lower lows since, late 2020, right? That's when we started to form our divergence. Obviously, if this is moving down and price isn't, that's where you get divergence. Same thing here. If we start to move up and prices move down, this will be different divergence, right? But we've broken that downtrend, plain and simple, right? So this is an exact super straight line, right? Looking at that. The point of a line is to show a trend, not identify a line. So that's what we're looking at. A break, right? We stepped above that. That was step one. Step two here. But bigger than that, right? We've reversed this downtrend. We are now trying to form an uptrend. So all we would need to do to confirm that is put in a higher low. And that should be pretty easy to do whenever we decide to kind of retest. We'll see if we can hold. But bigger on the weekly RSI that I've talked about for literally years on this channel. We're looking at the low 50s, 53, 54. You can see anytime the RSI for Bitcoin gets above this, and you can go back on the BLX and it holds true for over a decade. Anytime we're above 53 and holding it as support, right? Look at these bounces. Hard to argue with that line. You can maybe loosely fit a zone in there, but, roughly stated, 53 kind of seems what it is on the weekly RSI. We've now, as of, yesterday's close, we peaked our head up here. So what we would ideally like to do for bulls, right? If you're still hoping for 12K, then you'd hope this fails. But what we'd ideally like to do for the bulls is something very similar to this, right? Get above it, come back and hold it as support, maybe for a couple weeks, right? This is a little bit of time here. This might look weak, but like April 2020, before we made our next bigger move, was July of 2020. So it doesn't mean that, prices follow this exactly, but ideally this is kind of what we're looking to do, right? Something like that. We're going to get above here and kind of hold it if and when we come back down, right? We could go up here first before we come back down. So I'm not saying we're rolling over immediately, but we would like to mimic something like this. So then you can get these bigger moves, right? Look at the prices during this time, right? The bigger price moves come here. As we start to hold this, we want to confirm this line 53. If we let's remove some of these, right? If we get up here and then we go right back down, like in under 50, right? That would be a warning for us to like pump the brakes of caution here. Okay, so that's the weekly RSI. That's what you want to be watching. Weekly is bigly, right? Stochastics, the momentum, which this is based on the RSI. The RSI is based on price. So we're getting our momentum here. Our momentum's getting up here. Highest in a long time, right? Since really August of 2021, November 2021, when we had our last price peak, right? That was our top. That was the last time we were up here. So big things happening. Nice bounce off of really low here back in late November. So nice move. We got momentum. What else? The MFI, the money flow, right? What's the difference between the MFI and the RSI? I'm glad you asked. The main difference is volume. MFI calculates volume in it, right? RSI does not. So MFI is a great indicator to be looking for a divergence. As you can see, bullish divergence has started forming the past 6-7 months. Since July, it's been going up. Prices were not going up, right? That is where you get your divergence. Another Big thing for the bulls, right? We have crossed bullish on the ADX and DI, but what we want to see is the ADX, right? The DI is the red and the green. That's the positive. That's the negative. You can think of it as bulls and bears. The most important thing we want to see is this ADX start to curl up with this green, right? This is when you're going to start getting some bigger moves out of prices if we can do something like that. Okay, so watch for that. We need this ADX above 25. That's considered more powerful. We're kind of flirting with that right now. So if Bitcoin likes to go to 24, 25K, and we see that, rising like we just drew out, that would be excellent thing to be seeing. Another big thing is on balance volume. You want to be watching that. This is kind of a touchy feely indicator though. As you noticed, I had to adjust this. This will not automatically update like a lot of other indicators. It updates, but as you see, like you can lose track of it. If I went to like the daily, it would disappear again. So you have to practice this a little bit, but you want to look at this for confirming the trends. Really, this is great. If you start seeing this go down and prices going up, that'd be a huge warning. And flip side as well. If you see this go up and prices are going down, you want to be following what on balance volume does in a bigger way to confirm your trend. This is a great one. Okay, so how about what else? Another big thing we see and we like, the Fisher transform is reversed its trend for the past 2 years. January 2021, downtrend, right? You see that. Let's draw another perfectly straight line, right? Downtrend. And what did we do, right? We've broken it. Not only that, but we've confirmed it, reversing this trend, taking out that high. That's 2 highs now. Our next target is going to be up in here, right? Right about the 1 mark. We'll see if we get there this week. If we do, right? I mean, this is a power move here. What you want to look for in the Fisher transform is a trigger, right? That triggered buy back in basically the first week of January, and the parallel train tracks, right? You see those? You want to kind of wait for the confirmation. Otherwise, you can kind of get these kind of tangled up cobra fighting, snake fights, whatever you want to call it. You can fit your favorite 2 animals to fight, or maybe it's just like you and your in-laws. I don't know. So you want to wait till they're separate, running parallel, and that kind of confirms your trend, which we really got about the 2nd week of January, really right in there, right? And so this is a weekly. I love it on the weekly. I love using on the weekly charts. Good, nice uptrend and breaking that, literal 2-year downtrend. So good thing, right? That's a big thing. Not only that, you're putting in higher lows. Good all around. What else do we got? Well, we got the buy signal, blue buy signal, first time since August of 2021, where Bitcoin not only prints this is a recovery signal, this is the capitulation, this is for Bitcoin mining. So this is the miners giving up, then they recovered back in profit, and then they gave up again, right? They're like little girls. There's something about them liking money and things, but they've recovered and they're going full throttle, right? So blue buy signal, we got it last week. I guess about 8 days ago, right? So we're looking at that. Lots of positives, not really a whole lot of negatives going here just yet. Could we go down anytime, any given moment? Of course, right? Bitcoin can do anything, anytime it wants, but there's no major warning signs at all, right? We went through all these big indicators. These are the exact ones I used to kind of confirm theses and not theses. That's a word. Thesis, my thesis, your thesis, our theses. So looking at the underside retest, the 200 week, the 50 week, that seems like a logical area. You can really kind of draw even a zone, this low wick here, right as our initial pierce of the 200 week, right? I would go from there and maybe these closing prices, draw a zone. We're looking at, the upper side of like 26K, the lower side of like 24.5. That seems like a logical place based on the charts, right? You can even zoom in and get it more exact, right? This upper candle right here, that was kind of our little dead cat bounce, our contrary trend there. That closed at 24.3. So that's kind of the start of our resistance zone. We're probably going to need some kind of break sooner than later. Could we go to 30K? Of course, right? If you're doubting Bitcoin at this point, you're in probably the wrong game. Bitcoin can do anything it wants, and it can surprise more than you expect. So that's the logical place, right? TA is not meant to predict anything. It's just meant to try to improve your odds against the field, right? So that's what we're looking at for the odds. Could we end up getting a wick much higher? Could we wick up to 28K, 30K? Of course. but closing candle somewhere in this zone seems like a good spot to pick one, right? This top here, this low here, the double, bigger weekly moving averages right in there. Those are right at 25K right now. Also, right, don't forget what we started the video off on, the weekly Gaussian channel right now, just at 25.5. Next week, probably going to be right at 25K, right, moving down week over week. So keep that in mind. That's kind of three things now kind of coming together at 25K. So keep that in mind. 25K seems like a nice, also human psychological round number. But, like I said, Bitcoin could maybe close there, but it could wick and really just get people the FOMO boat kick in. If you see price above 25K, I mean, who knows? Right? You might see everyone and their brother going long. If bears give up, right, that can cause, FOMO as well. So just keep a level head, keep your eye on the prices, right? The prices aren't going to lie, right? You can trade off the price. Price doesn't lie. So price discounts everything. Watch the price. Forget the chats, watch the charts. All right. Moving averages crossing up. This is big things, right? When's the last time we saw the weekly 8 moving average, right? The red line crossing up in a bigger way. That's a hell of a sharp turn. There's big stuff brewing here. So we'll see where we end up going. Ideally, if you're a super bull, do you want to go up to 30K tomorrow? No, that would be unhealthy. What we'd like to see is maybe, this zone somewhere in there, right? Or this, somewhere like this. This is what you'd want to see to remain massive bullish. This move up, and then we hit this, and then just go sideways. That would be a recipe for the altcoin hurricane of a lifetime, right? If Bitcoin does this and goes sideways after this bullish move, altcoins will absolutely explode here. Right in this area. This is altcoin season. If this happens, this is a big if, and this is a big asterisk. Okay, we have to draw we'll draw the big asterisk, right? This is well drawn. So this is the big asterisk. If we go sideways in this zone, altcoins will lose their shit. Okay, so if you're not in altcoins, maybe wait for this. If you see Bitcoin going up here and not rejecting instantly, we have to remove some lines. I'm sorry. If you see Bitcoin go up and move the chart, if you see Bitcoin go up and then come back down, this will still be okay as long as we can kind of hold above this zone, right? And make a higher low. This is still healthy if we come back down here. But altcoins will probably not fare as well. Ideally, what you want to see altcoins is Bitcoin go up here, go sideways, altcoin actual kaboom going into springtime. Then Bitcoin can kind of continue, altcoins simmer down, and then this is how the bull markets are born in a big way, right? So ideally, that's what you want to be watching for. If you want for 12K, you should get a shirt made up because that's the only time you're going to see it, probably. All right, look, we did quote of the day. Let's do car of the day. I saw this morning. Maybe you haven't seen it yet, unless you're a super car nut. If you saw this before me, kudos. A concept of bringing back the Lamborghini Diablo. It's one of the first concepts I've actually seen initially and liked a lot. I love this. The Diablo is one of my favorite Lamborghinis of all time, especially for the older ones. But there's the front of it. They've got the rear. Looks so good to me. There, look at that. That looks epic. The Diablo, they did it well. Hopefully they make this, right? We saw, about a year or two ago, I think we saw the Lamborghini Countach being just concepts, and then they actually made it. So please make this. I want to see one of these rolling around at a car show someday. Amazing. Look at that. I'm just blown away how good that looks. There's the side view. Absolutely amazing. Like front there. They respected the wheels. Amazing. Ultra modern, and yet they kept it Diablo-esque. Pretty amazing, pretty mean looking right there. What do you think? I don't care. I love it. All right, I'll see you on the next one. Kudos to you for watching this long. Thumbs up. Follow us on Twitter, Telegram, and Patreon if you're not already. I'm sure you are for the 4 of you that are watching this. I'll see you on the next one.